Shackles the right size for wrists and ankles. Recent traces of food and drink. A bucket that contained excrement. No doubt about it, there were people in these cages. The size of the shackles, the troughs for food and drink, and the buckets for waste prove it. Can I prove that the people held here were sold? According to Ivankov's register, not all his merchandise is accepted by the customer. Someone paid a lot of money for a piece of merchandise that could well be Sophia Capone. A hefty receipt for children's clothes with yesterday's date. The forgeries belonging to Sophia Capone's kidnapper. Cages that likely house dogs. A girl's shoe identical to the one that Capone said his granddaughter Sophia was wearing. Chewed and stained with blood and body tissue. A metal table on which bodies were mutilated recently. The forgeries belonging to Sophia Capone's kidnapper. A shoe, identical to the one described by Capone, and the documents used by the person pretending to be Sophia's uncle make it certain that she was held here. Sophia Capone was here, but did she get out? Someone paid a lot of money for a piece of merchandise that could, according to the register, Ivankov was paid for Sophia, which means she was handed over to his customer. Sophia Capone got out of here, but did she get out alive? A hefty receipt for children's clothes with yesterday's date. The cages are labeled with letters, or names and numbers. A metal table on cages that chewed and stained. A scoreboard. A scoreboard. Chewed and stained. Cages that... The cages are labeled with letters. The labels on the cages could refer to the customers who buy human merchandise from Ivankov. I base this assumption on the register, in which some of the pieces are marked as acceptable and paid for, and others are not. What does he do with the ones that are rejected? A metal table on which bodies were mutilated recently. Human bodies. Cages that likely house dogs. A scoreboard, like a knockout tournament. Chewed and stained with blood and body tissue. With all the pieces that are rejected by his customers, Ivankov organizes fights, probably to the death, between prisoners and between prisoners and dogs. Maybe even between prisoners and his own men. What is the fate of those that lose? A metal table on which bodies were mutilated recently. Human bodies, dismembered and piled up. It seems clear that those that lose in combat are hacked to pieces. Some of them while they're still alive. I'd say they're then thrown into the water, but there's no proof. They're still damp. Quite the contrast with the rest of the room. I'd almost say it was cleaner than my shower at home. Children's shampoo. Someone wanted them to look perfectly presentable. Towels that are still damp. The damp towels, the children's shampoo, and the receipt from the children's clothes shop indicate that they washed and dressed the children before taking them away. I strongly doubt that they washed them just to kill them, so there is reason to believe that Sophia Capone is still alive. We're done here. Let's go.
Already? I thought I'd have time to finish Act 4.
Are you doubting my efficiency as a detective?
That would depend on the quality of your conclusions.
Ivankov is a human trafficker. He has various customers who make specific requests. Slavers, pimps, God knows what else. He kidnaps them and puts them in these cages, shackling them and feeding them like animals until he's ready to complete the order. When he has enough, or maybe when the designated day comes around, his customer comes here and decides which of his catches are satisfactory and which are not. What does he do with the rejects? For many people, this would be a problem, but not for Ivankov. Like a true boxing fan, he organizes fights between the failed candidates. Bloody tournaments, possibly to the death. I'm sure his men place bets, and that the whole sick spectacle, like the Roman circus, helps keep morale high. But, as in the circus, it's not just people that fight. There are animals too. In these cages, Ivankov kept dogs. He forces the survivors to fight them, wearing boxing gloves, until the dogs tear them apart. And if anyone survives, Ivankov's own men finish the job. This leads us to the next problem. What does Ivankov do with the bodies? Easy. He cuts them up on this table, one by one. Alive, even, if they had the bad luck not to die in the arena. And then? I don't know. Maybe he throws them overboard, but that's always risky. Maybe if we interrogate him when he wakes up, he can tell us more. But that's not what really interests us. What really interests us is what's inside, or what was inside this container. In recent weeks, Ivankov has kidnapped 9 children for an anonymous client who pays him a fortune for each one of them. The most expensive item of all has been given the initials SC, our Sophia, as proved by one of her shoes, which I found in there. Today, or possibly last night, the customer took delivery of the children and paid in full. Before this, Ivankov bought them new clothes and gave them a shower. Why would he do that? Is it to sell them into adoption in wealthy families? I very much doubt it, but I can't figure out another reason. What I do think is that his client doesn't want to leave loose ends. I think he forced him to get rid of the rest of his prisoners. This is why they organized fights yesterday, dismembered the combatants, and even killed all the dogs.
Are you joking?
No.
Oh, man. Let's take this piece of shit to Capone.
What?
They're old friends. I'm sure Alphonse will be happy to...
Out of the question. You saw what he did to Burke. You want him to do it again? Want us to lose another witness? Christ, 20 years ago, I let a child murderer slip through my fingers. I won't let that happen again. What if the two cases are related?
Not gonna persuade you, am I?
No.
Okay.
Wake up, Eliot.
We there?
No, still a ways to go. But from here we have to go on foot.
We've been in the car for 2 hours. You going to tell me why we're here?
Because we need to get there.
Come on, Jim.
Be patient. I told you it's a surprise. I want you to find out for yourself. Or don't you like surprises?
I like him. Who doesn't? But what kind of surprise requires you to carry a gun?
Name me one thing you can do in Santa Esperanza without carrying a gun.
Touché.
Do as I say and you'll see. Take it from Jim Dockers.
Because you're my friend, right?
Don't let your guard down. Have you heard of the Voduna cult?
You mean voodoo? Dolls and needles?
Yes and no. It's different varieties of the same thing. The Vodun religion from East Africa. In Cuba, they call it Vodou. In Haiti, it's voodoo. Santa Esperanza had its own version. A little community that lived in these woods, no more than 200 people, I reckon.
Had?
Right. They say practically all of them died. A sort of civil war sparked up by betrayal. Betrayal between friends.
Really? What kind of betrayal?
The Vodunas place particular importance on a person's name. They chose a name for themselves when they reached adulthood, and they only revealed it to their partners and their descendants.
Is that so?
It is. The legend says that while he was out hunting with his right-hand man, the chief of the Vodunas was attacked by...
Not such a dumb idea. I wish no one knew my name.
Well, for the Vodunas, it wasn't that simple. Ah, shit. Help me with this, Eliot. One, two, three. They had different names for it, day-to-day use. Nicknames similar to Indian names. Come on. Anyway, while he was out hunting, the chief of the tribe was attacked by a bear.
A bear? Don't tell me you dragged me into a wood full of bears.
I wasn't joking when I told you not to let your guard down.
Shit.
The chief's wounds looked fatal, so he confided in his best friend, the best hunter in the tribe. and whispered his true name to him. The hunter left him in the woods, went back to the village, and told the news to the chieftain's wife and children.
Well, that's tough. However badly wounded he was his partner. You can't leave your partner in the woods, whatever state he's in.
Let's hope neither of us has to make that kind of decision today.